Okay, I think we can do that applause now. He's here. Yes! Thank you so much for joining us. Your time is precious and we love that. So this man right here, at the age of 19, you went on tour with Prince?
Yes.
Yeah?
Sure.
I mean, let me give you a microphone. There we go. Let's protect that voice for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Went on tour with Prince, right? Has been given a nod by Mick Jagger, Elton John, and he's here, right? And he's about to rock South Africa for the next 2 days. I want to know, because you said that when you do tours around the world, you want to make sure that it's 3 days so that you can perform and then eat a little bit of food and have a little bit of vacation. So basically, you are currently in your retirement plan.
Yes, that's what music is. So, no, just like after touring, this tour that I'm on now I don't have that. I'm in the States. I'm like one city. Next day, I'm like every day I'm playing somewhere. So the retirement plan hasn't happened exactly like I wanted to. But here, you have to come to Joburg and stay here for get here a few days early. Try to get the jet lag.
Yeah.
Like now I'm like really sleepy. But I'm good.
You're good.
I'm good.
And when it comes to food, I know that around the world you like to search for chocolate croissants. I hope the chefs are listening. He likes chocolate croissants. So
chocolate, yeah.
This is how you bribe him. When it comes to South Africa, what are you always excited about to put in your mouth?
Wow. I don't know.
Hey.
Yeah.
I feel the judgment.
I don't know. It's so much food here. So many different types of food. I don't know. I just walk around wherever I'm staying. I just ask people what's good here. It's everything here. I don't know.
I'll give you the name of a restaurant a little bit later.
Yeah. Please do.
So I want to go back a little bit in who Raphael Saadiq is. You call your family the Black Kennedys.
Yeah, I do.
Why?
Well, one part of my family, because they sort of act like their name is so powerful. So when I changed my name from Wiggins to Saadiq in like 92, and so it was a big deal that I was changing my name. I knew they would be a little upset.
But you didn't get invited to Sunday lunch.
No, my father was okay with it. But the rest of the family was a little weird. But I was like, hey, I'm changing my name, and I was.
But I mean, you come from a family of 8 kids. Surely they wouldn't mind that one changes. There's another 7.
Yeah, but I'm the one.
No, but you said you weren't the favorite child.
But I'm the one. It just ended up being that way. I thought everybody else was the one. I mean, I look up to my brothers way. I think so much of my brothers who they're all musicians in a way a little bit, but they have day jobs. Nobody, the rest of the kids didn't want to be in music, and I was in music. It's like just by trial and by error. Really, like I like to play music, but as far as being a singer, all of that was something I was not looking forward to do. It was like I wanted to just play for other people. And not really not famous people, just local people. And I just end up being, you go to school, you get in the school band, play in the jazz band, then somebody asks you to be in a band, and then you're playing in the club, and then you audition for a talent show, and then somebody says, you want to make a demo tape, and then you're talking to the president of the label, and then the president like, you should be the singer.
You?
Me.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's how it sort of happened, and then at that point I was, in front of a crowd singing a song that I didn't know if they were going to like it or not. And it just sort of like, and I just, once you're in front of an audience, you just have to, you have to do what you do.
I'm glad you touch on that, and the fact that you say that you saw yourself always making music for other people, either playing for other people or writing for other people. I mean, those songs that you've written for other people are equally as big as the biggest songs that you have had. Where do you find the most, happiness in creating hits for other people, or when you create it for yourself?
I think creating is one of my favorite things to do, because you don't know if you're creating a hit song. I never say I'm creating a hit song. You guys make it a hit song. I just spend the time creating a song, and hopefully people like it. I never know. Well, you know when you got a good song, but not a hit song. So I like creating for people, because you learn from other unicorns, people, and like Solange, and D'Angelo, and Bilal, and Mary J. Blige, and you get to be around people who really wanted to be singers. And you just learn from everybody. Then when everybody leaves and you're in the room by yourself, then that's when you go, okay, let's see if I can do the same thing for myself.
Is there a song that you've written that you're constantly chasing the feeling of how it felt to have achieved and created that song? Like it comes on, you're like, you
No.
made me.
No.
No.
No. I never chased the last song that I did. Because this guy once told me that when you're writing songs, if you hold a song, and if you like the song a lot, and somebody wants the song, you should give it to them, because you'll kind of stun your growth, like you may never come up with something again. So as far as like, if I wrote like, Lucy Pearl, if I wrote, Dance Tonight, for some weird reason, I never tried to go back in and write like a part 2 of, I Want to Dance Tonight. I just rather go listen to it.
What about writing Dance Tomorrow Night?
Yeah. You know what? If it worked for me, if that could work for me, I would do it every day. But I just don't think it'd work for me.
A lot of people, will, and you don't know, I don't know if they let you know this, but a lot of people are like, oh my word, I fell in love to this song, and it's mostly your music. Is there pressure on you to be good in bed because your music?
I'm just good. No pressure.
He's the one.
Number one.
I'm the one.
Dad has 8 kids, almost 10 kids. I mean, this is something naturally you get from being his son.
Passed down from generations to generations. So, it's a thumbs up for you.
Thumbs up for you.
Speaking about your siblings, you said your dad's got almost 10 kids. Your latest, one of your albums, I don't know if it's the latest one, you'll correct me, Jimmy Lee, about your brother who passed away. And what I loved about what you said about that album, you said that he got tired of lying to people because they'd ask him, hey, when's your next album coming out? It's like, yeah, next week. And it's like, I'm too tired of lying about it. Let me just write it. So you go in and you start writing it. What's that process like? And it's about your brother that, he was your favorite person, right?
Yeah, well, the record wasn't about him in the beginning. I had 4 different versions of what I was going to call the next record. And then once I started writing the record, it was called Glory to the Veins, because I thought about Jimmy's life, who he was addicted to heroin. And we're 15 years apart in age. So when he was addicted to dealing with his addiction, I only know that person, so I didn't see him like, my mother and my other brothers, and saw him like a normal person that's sober. I've only known him to be an addict. So when I thought about it, I always wondered like, what would it be like to, sit at a bar with my brother and just have a normal conversation, have an IPA, and just, it's a beer.
Indian pale ale.
Yeah. So I mean, I just wonder, and I lost 2 other brothers and a sister. So and they didn't get a chance to see me become like an artist, and their little brother who they didn't. Everybody just sort of kicked around a little bit, So, and I started writing a record, and I was like, maybe I should call it Glory to the Veins. There's a record called Glory to the Veins, meaning like glory to the people who deal with darkness and addiction. They can't really tell anybody whatever the issue is. And then I said I should call it Jimmy Lee. I changed it back to Glory to the Veins. A friend of mine, Kirby, he's a designer from Pierre Moss. He came to me and said, why did you change it to Glory to the Veins? I felt like it was more personal when you talked about your brother Jimmy Lee. Once I titled it Jimmy Lee, I was able to put more songs to it. And I went down the rabbit hole, and then I started to finish the record. And then but it wasn't. People ask me, was it hard for me to write a record about addiction? It was pretty. It wasn't hard at all, because once you're in the creative space, you could just keep creating and keep creating. The harder part becomes when you're doing interviews, and people start asking you about, like, tell me about Jimmy.
That was my next question.
Yeah, so you start going like, oh damn, I didn't know I was gonna have to talk about him.
Yeah.
And the way nobody ever talked about him. And he was a really nice guy, funny guy. When you're going through addiction, you're taking things. You're just you're not who you supposed to be, or you just this chemical's taking over your life. And he was more like a street person. He wasn't homeless. He always had a place to live. But when people would see him, he would say, "That's my brother," and they would go, "That's not your brother. That's Raphael." And I'll go, "Yeah, that's my brother." And we were completely different. But I'm really happy to put the record out now because my mother gets to see her son's name everywhere, and she's like freaking out. You know, it's like, Jimmy Lee, Jimmy Lee. She's like, "Yeah, my friends call me and Jimmy Lee, Jimmy Lee," and I didn't think about that either. So I guess it's some really good. Out of all the tragedy that we've seen, I think she gets to look at something very positive. You know, I know she never thought she'd see his name. You know, she's watching the news and it's like I'm on the news and it's like Jimmy Lee.
That's my boy.
That's her boy. So it's more. I sort of like took myself out of the one and made him the one.
Oh.
You know.
Now your music is very intimate to you, right? But
Yes.
at the same time, you've got this power of being able to let it go, like you were just saying. When it comes to something like a festival like this, it's outdoors. We're eating, we're listening. We're laughing, we're listening. Do you change how you release yourself to the audience because you go from the intimate bluesy situations to the big stages? Do you change how you deliver yourself?
Yeah, you do. You always have to be able to judge an audience and see what the audience is doing. Especially if the audience is eating food while you're singing, and you're not eating food, and they get to just look at you and snack. Is that what's happening? Are they going to be snacking?
No,
it's not a cabaret.
Okay, you scared me.
No. People are there for you, definitely. Don't worry about it. But there's also going to be.
It's okay.
No, it's a live audience. The restaurants are.
I get it.
The restaurants at Delicious are dotted all around the festival, but the main arena still has 15,000 people in front of the main stage
So I'm just
in a festival format.
I'm just now figuring it out, so I didn't really get the whole Delicious thing.
Oh, you thought we were talking about you?
No, not me. I just thought it's a lot of Delicious in where I'm from. Delicious vinyls, all kind of different. But I'm tired and jet lagged. I just now got it. Chefs, Delicious, chefs. Okay. I live around a
These are
bunch
the
of
guys that are going to feed you while you're here.
I like that. Yeah, I live around a lot of chefs, and where I live, all my restaurants I find from all my friends that are chefs in LA. So okay, Delicious, I'm on.
You're on there. You're quite a humorous guy. Like, I'm not saying you Chris Rock, you're a comedian, but you're humorous, and you say you get it from your dad. Where does the music come from? And did your parents ever fight over where he gets it from me, now he gets it from me?
The funny part is my mom. My dad is the serious guy who laughs sometimes. But my dad is more a serious guy. He played music a little bit. He had a guitar in the house, but he didn't play it much. He just sort of sat it there, and if we picked it up, we got in trouble the first 2 times, and then if you pick it up the 3rd time, I think he felt like you had something you wanted to say with a guitar. So that's him. And my mom is more of a church lady, a gospel lady who's like believe in God and Jesus, and dragged me to church every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and until I got old enough to say, I'm not going. But it was also playing music in church was like really good because it wasn't like music is now in church. Music now is like concerts. You go to church now in America, it's like a concert. It's like going to a festival. When I was growing up, it was a little hole in the wall churches. Where nobody really heard me playing. It was too loud. My amp was this small. Nobody could hear you. So you really had to work to be heard. So my mom is sort of that lady, and my dad is more like the international guy.
I'm gonna open.
I started off with the Tonys, which was my brother, Dwayne, and a good friend, my high school friend, is Timothy Christian Riley. So that's when you get a chance to, find out what you are. Can you produce music? When you start thinking about what should my career look like from beginning to end. And like I said, I didn't want to be a solo artist. I wanted to be in bands. I'm a band guy. So once the Tonys was over, Lucy Pearl was more of a business guy. I was more of starting my own label. trying it out, see if I wanted to have a label. I didn't like having a label. It wasn't fun. It just sounded good. So, and then as I became a solo act, then the pressure was pretty much on me because I knew like I had to do all the interviews. I couldn't separate the interviews. Like, Don, you do this interview. Ali, you do this one. Dwayne, you do this interview. It was like the spotlight was on me. I had to write the songs. I wrote most of the songs with all the groups anyway, but it was something different about being a solo act because I was nervous once I got done with my first record was Instant Vintage. I remember doing a show in Chicago, and I've done a lot of shows and been on a lot of stages in my life, but the first show I did in Chicago, the first song I just shook, my voice was like shaking. The whole time, and I was like, what are you doing? I was like, why are you acting nervous? But I couldn't pull it together. I think the solo act in me just made me look at people like friends of mine who are solo acts, like Mary J. Blige, D'Angelo, Prince. Like, you start thinking about the pressures of what it is to be a solo act. It's a lot of pressure, and traveling, getting shows every day, hiring a band, and it's a lot. It's a lot that comes with it. It's not as glamorous as people think it is. I'd rather be at home. Unless I make a record like Jimmy Lee, it's more like a folk story. I think this is probably one of my favorite records. I'm enjoying this record probably more than any record I ever put out because it's true and it's a great story. And I like the way people are taken to it.